You start improving yourself, going to the gym, reading books, working on goals, building better habits, and suddenly the people around you get weird. They make jokes, question your choices, act annoyed. You thought they'd be supportive, proud, encouraging. Instead, they're distant, uncomfortable, sometimes hostile. You're doing something positive, but it feels isolating, like you're being punished for getting better. This isn't coincidence. Positive change threatens people, and the closer they are to you, the more threatened they feel. When you change, you become a mirror. People see their own choices reflected back at them. You go to the gym, they see their unused membership. You read books, they remember goals they abandoned. You wake up early, they feel guilty sleeping in. You're not judging them, but your actions feel like judgment anyway, because you're doing what they know they should be doing, but aren't. This triggers cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort of holding conflicting beliefs. They believe self-improvement is good. They also believe they're fine as they are. Your change forces them to choose, either admit they could be doing better, or convince themselves your change is wrong. Most people pick option 2. Easier to attack your change than examine their own choices. So they start with subtle comments, little digs disguised as concern. You're obsessed. You've changed. You think you're better than us now? They're not worried about you. They're uncomfortable with themselves. Your progress is holding up a mirror they don't want to look into, and instead of changing what they see, they're trying to break the mirror. Every social group has an unspoken contract. Everyone stays at roughly the same level, same habits, same lifestyle, same problems. This creates comfort, predictability. When you start leveling up, you're breaking the contract. You're disrupting the equilibrium. The group doesn't like this, not because they hate success, because your success destabilizes their comfort. Think about crabs in a bucket. When one tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. Not because crabs are evil, because the climbing crab is disturbing the group. Humans do this too. When you try to climb out of the bucket, the people in it will try to pull you back down. Not out of malice, out of discomfort with change. Your improvement feels like abandonment to them. This is why your drinking buddies get upset when you quit drinking. Your lazy friends get annoyed when you start working out. Your broke friends get weird when you focus on money. They're not happy for you because your change reminds them they're staying still. And that reminder is painful. So they pressure you to come back down, to stay in the bucket with them. When you change, your identity shifts. You're becoming someone new, but the people around you knew the old you. They're comfortable with the old you. The old you fit a role in their life, made sense in their world. New you doesn't fit anymore. This creates friction. They don't know how to interact with this version of you. Comment below if people from your past still treat you like who you used to be, because this is common. They're still relating to a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. They tell old stories, make old jokes, expect old reactions. When you don't fit the script anymore, they get uncomfortable. You've outgrown the role they assigned you. This is especially hard with family. They knew you as a child, as a teenager, as the person you were before you decided to change. They have decades of evidence of who you are. When you start becoming someone different, it challenges their entire perception. They resist, not because they want you to fail, because accepting new you means admitting they don't know you as well as they thought. Learning, growing, your conversations change. You want to talk about ideas, goals, growth, but your old friends want to talk about gossip, drama, the same surface level things you used to bond over. Suddenly, you have nothing to talk about. The connection feels forced, shallow. You're speaking different languages now. This is the loneliest part. You haven't become arrogant. You haven't changed your values. You just evolved your interests. But evolution creates distance. You're operating at a different frequency now. The things that used to engage you feel empty. The people you used to vibe with feel draining. Not because they're bad people, because you're in different places mentally. You try to include them, share what you're learning, invite them to join you, but they're not interested. Or worse, they mock it, make fun of your new interests, call you pretentious. You're not being pretentious, you're just growing. And growth without companionship feels isolating. You're improving, but you're doing it alone. Nobody tells you that growth requires sacrifice, not just time or comfort, relationships. You think you can improve yourself and keep everyone. You can't. Some people will fall away naturally. Others you'll have to leave behind intentionally. This hurts. You want growth and connection, but sometimes you have to choose. The people who celebrate your old self-destructive behaviors won't celebrate your new healthy ones. The friends who enabled your worst habits won't support your best ones. The group that bonded over complaining won't bond over building. You're going to lose people when you change. This is normal. Painful, but normal. This doesn't mean everyone will leave. Some people will grow with you. Some will surprise you with their support. But many won't, and you'll have to make peace with that. You'll have to choose between staying small to keep people comfortable or growing and risking loneliness. Most people choose comfort. That's why most people don't change. When you start succeeding, envy enters the picture. People watch you improve, get results, win. Part of them is happy for you. Another part resents you. Not consciously, not maliciously, but humans are competitive. Your success highlights their stagnation. This breeds envy, and envy disguises itself as concern. They start concern trolling. Are you sure you're not overdoing it? You're becoming obsessed. Is this really healthy? These questions aren't about your well-being. They're about their discomfort with your progress. Real concern supports. Fake concern undermines. Learn the difference. Drop a comment if someone tried to sabotage your progress under the guise of caring about you, because this is common. People will try to slow you down while claiming they're looking out for you. They're not. They're looking out for their own ego. Your success feels like their failure, so they try to make your success seem like a problem. Eventually, you realize you need new people on the same path, growing, building, trying. So you look for them, but finding your new tribe is hard. You've left your old group, but haven't found your new one yet. You're in between. This is the loneliest phase. Too evolved for old connections, not established enough for new ones. This in-between stage makes people quit. The loneliness becomes too much. They go back to the old group, rejoin the bucket. At least there they had company, but going back after you've grown feels suffocating. You don't fit anymore. You've changed too much. So you're lonely there too. Different kind of lonely. The lonely of pretending to be someone you're not. You have to endure the gap, the period between tribes. Keep growing even when it's lonely. Your new people exist, but they're also growing, also evolving, also outgrowing old circles. You'll find each other, but it takes time. Loneliness is the price of admission. Pay it. Here's what nobody tells you. The loneliness of positive change is temporary, but it's also necessary. You need the solitude to hear yourself think, to figure out who you're becoming without other people's opinions drowning out your own voice. The loneliness isn't punishment, it's protection, space to grow without interference. People who never experience this loneliness never fully transform. They stay tethered to old identities because staying connected was more important than growing. You're willing to be uncomfortable, to be alone, to be misunderstood. That willingness is what separates people who change from people who talk about changing. The loneliness proves you're serious. Anyone can talk about self-improvement. Most people do. But when improvement costs you friendships and you keep going anyway, That's commitment. That's real change. The loneliness is evidence you're willing to pay the real price, not just the comfortable one. Eventually, the loneliness ends. Not because old people come back, because new people show up. People who recognize you because they're on the same path. These connections are deeper, built on mutual growth instead of mutual stagnation, based on who you're becoming, not who you were. These relationships feel different, less draining, more energizing, because you're not constantly explaining yourself, not defending your choices, not shrinking to make others comfortable. You're just being the person you worked to become, and they get it because they did the same work. Positive change feels lonely because growth is individual, but most people prefer collective stagnation. You can't bring everyone. Some people are meant to be part of your past, not your future. The loneliness is temporary. The growth is permanent. Choose growth. Subscribe if you're willing to walk alone for a while to become who you're meant to be.